Hi everyone. It's been a while. The last you heard from me was in July when I told you I was going to postpone my 2020 through hike to 2021. And then I did a week-long shakedown in Pennsylvania. So thought it was time for an update. I am going to go on my through hike. I'll be starting in April. I'll still be doing a flip-flop hike like I planned before because it makes sense for me for a lot of reasons. And this year it makes even more sense, I think, to avoid, the crowding in the bubble. So starting at a alternate point, it's not a bad idea. A little bit of a change. I had been planning on starting in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. After talking with other people in the class of 21, I've decided to change my starting point to Rockfish Gap. That's in Virginia. It's on the south end of Shenandoah National Park. I think that is a good idea for me. I think it's 160 miles to Harpers Ferry from there. So that just gives me, a couple more weeks of relatively easier terrain before I hit more difficult states. Basically, it just gives me a good chance to get my trail legs. So that's the plan. Like I said, leaving in April. Don't know the exact date yet. I believe the waysides and whatnot in SMP open the second week of April or so. It's an exciting time of year when all the thru hikers are putting out their announcement videos and we get a preview of who we're gonna watch. If I'm honest, I was always looking for someone who was like me. You know, I really wanted to find somebody who was a woman, who was gonna hike solo, who was over 50, who was as fat as I am, and who was gonna do a flip-flop hike. I never found her. But with all that in mind, I thought I should tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm 52 years old. I'll turn 53 on trail. I am a mother to 4 children, but they're all adults now. My youngest graduated in 2020, and my oldest is 28. We all live together in my fiance's house in Akron, Ohio. I've lived in Akron most of my life except for about a year. I lived in Germany and I lived in Colorado a couple years too. I started getting interested in hiking, very cliche. I read a book, Wild, about the Pacific Crest Trail in 2015, and in 2016 I started dreaming and then planning my own Appalachian Trail through hike. My feet already hurt. After deciding to hike the trail, I started having a lot of pain in the balls of my feet. They were inflamed and I could hardly walk. I went to the doctor and found out that I had a hammer toe deformity. So I've had surgery on my feet. I had 8 knuckles removed from my toes, and that space is just filled in with scar tissue now. The fat pads in the balls of my feet are worn away, and I also tend to have plantar fasciitis. I'd say 50% of the time I get it, and it takes me a good 6 months to get rid of it, and then I generally get it again. So that's a challenge I'll have on trail, pain in my feet. But on the other hand, I'm used to a certain level of discomfort daily, and maybe that'll be an advantage. Financially, I come from very modest means. In order to do this hike, I had to rearrange my life a lot, get out of debt, and save up money. I took a job in a food factory where I worked a lot of overtime to save up the money for this hike. It was very hard work, a lot of heavy lifting, long days on concrete floors in the cold, and it did a lot for me. It really helped prepare me, I think, mentally for the trail. Some of you watched me leading up to the 2020 season, and you know that I quit my job thinking I was going to be hiking in 2020. After that, I did not go back to work during the quarantine. I was off work for 7 months, but recently I've been working just a day here and there at the same factory. They've been really great and allowed me that flexibility, and I was able to hang on to the nest egg I saved up to do this hike. I'm out today trying to get some practice in with a little bit of weight on my back. The pack I have on now weighs about 20 pounds. That's about 2/3 of what I'll probably start with on the trail. I think my total load out with food and water is going to be about 30 pounds when I start. This is one of my favorite trails in Akron. I first started hiking it about 18 years ago. I was recovering from PTSD and had been newly diagnosed with bipolar type 2. I came out here by myself and walked and really started to heal. And that's when I first really discovered that walking alone on the trail had a restorative benefit to my mental health. My mental health is better now than it's probably ever been my entire adult life, and getting ready to hike the trail played a big part in that too. My primary reason for starting this channel was to document my hike just for my own memories, and also so friends and family could follow along. But more so than that, I would also like to invite anyone who's interested in the Appalachian Trail to follow me and maybe occasionally drop an encouraging message. I think it'll help when the days are hard, especially. I'll be doing more practice hikes in the coming months. I know some of my fellow AT class of 2021 hikers are already out on the trail. To you, I say good luck, and I hope to see you out there.